Hello everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of Horrorpunk Dads. I'm joined once again by Ryan Smith of Dichotomy, Anthony Noble of Noble Arts and Apparel, and Mr. all the way from New Zealand, Mr. Brent. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Very well, very well. Thank you guys for coming back for part 3. And look, we're all dressed in the same clothes. And what's funny about this is I'm going to post this week by week, so it's all going to look like we never
Son
did.
of a bitch, we really fucked up. We should have went and changed shirts in between. That
There you go.
There we go, yeah, dude.
You should have just fucking
swapping shirts.
I thought you went to go change your shirt.
Yeah, welcome back, Brent.
My dad's actually just arrived. He's come up from the city for a visit, so
Wonderful.
I may have to bail on episode 3 a bit earlier,
man.
but no, it's all good. No, keep talking.
Bring
So
your dad on the episode. This is horrorpunk dads.
yeah, Horrorpunk Dads. Get him in here.
Some dirt on Brent.
Yeah.
Did you check that?
Yeah, I want to hear some dirt about Brent when he was little.
We want to. Did your dad happen to show up with those like embarrassing naked baby pictures of your butt?
Not for this channel. Not for this channel. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, yay.
Anthony Noble from Canada, Louis Muss from Wisconsin, and Ryan Smith from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
How's it going? Pittsburgh, isn't it? All over the place. Yeah, all over the place.
How's it going?
Oh yeah.
So both Ryan sings and drums for one of the bands that was at Slasher Fest, and Anthony was also at Slasher Fest.
I was not. I wasn't there this year. I couldn't.
No, he wasn't there. He's in a band. He's a singer in another band. That will be at Slasher Fest when I bring it down to New Zealand after winning lottery.
Yes, I'll be there. I will be there.
Fridge if you want.
So tell us the most embarrassing story about Brent. Well, how was
There
he?
you go. They want to know the most embarrassing story about me.
About him? Oh, God. He's still winning.
You have a wonderful son, man. He is fantastic.
Yeah, he is.
Have him in our community.
I wouldn't drop him in it like that.
Yeah, there you go. He's got with that. Yeah.
So Brent, I asked this a question on my other shows, but if you were stuck in a desert island and you could only take one band and one album with you, what band are you taking?
Right. Does the album have to be by the band I'm taking?
No.
Okay. Right. So now that we've got that, so the album I'll take will be Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13, Night of the Living Drag Queens. The band I'll take will be the Bastards. They're a 2-piece acoustic horror punk band. I figure if I'm taking an album, I probably have got power, which means I probably could take a full band, but I'll go on the fact that a desert island typically doesn't have power, so I thought acoustic, and arguably they are the band that led me to Horrorpunks USA.
Awesome.
Been in northeastern Pennsylvania, bass band. I guess the other guy lives in Ohio at the time, I believe. But yeah, it was ultimately then through becoming friends with the singer artist Trashbacks guy Don Calzola, and him posting his stuff from going to Slasher Fest 1 and stuff like that, that I really sort of got to find the whole Horrorpunks USA scene. So yeah, they're a big influence in me being here with you guys.
Excellent. We're glad that you did.
very glad to have you, man.
And I had time to think about that answer because I knew it was coming. Otherwise, I'd take God's Head Freak Show.
Yeah. That's the number one answer I get from that.
Bantam.
That's the number one answer I get from that question is 5 Cent Freak Show. And I think the reason that I asked that question is that I could ask you your favorite band of all time, and you would be like, well, I like this band or that band. But if you're stuck with the question of like, I'm stuck with this band for potentially the rest of my life, what band can you listen to forever?
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy and I took a different approach. We said the London Philharmonic because we could cannibalize them.
Yeah.
On the island.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's another answer I get. It's a lot of cannibalism. You and Setlock both were like, we'll just eat them. Hammerfuck said he couldn't. He's like, I can't eat a CD, so.
Siglock went along that view, didn't they? Hammerfuck decided he was he was picking his band as a menu.
Yeah, he's gonna eat his whole band.
I'm surprised no one's come up with like a band with a hot chick, just that they're on a fucking island with a woman.
That's
that
true.
One answer has had a woman in it.
No. Kevin Corvell said Jackalantern.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he did say Jackalantern. But I think he just wants to listen to her music.
Chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you see Jackalantern too once with Darker Days and that other band?
Yes.
Evelyn's Casket? Who's the lead singer?
That other band had that Phantom guy on it.
Yeah, what's his name?
Kevin saw them as well, because Anna Ogier was there at the show too. She live streamed the show to Kev, because I sort of briefly got to say good day to him at the show too, which was the other cool thing about the whole community, the fact that she streamed it live to him, the fact that they called you Louis from Slasher Fest.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
And that, it's that's also the technology we've got to be able to do it that easy today. I mean, let's face it, 15 years ago that wasn't happening.
No.
Slasher Fest, I was laughing my ass off. We kept referring to you as fucking the Southern Wolverine.
The what?
Remember we were calling you the Southern Wolverine?
Oh, yeah.
You're like Sabretooth, really, with those. You look like Sabretooth.
You want to know the secret to the chops? I don't grow hair here, so I just shave it and call it chops.
I don't grow hair right here.
No?
I could never grow a beard. No. I always told her
either.
it was because my mom would grab me there when she was about to smack me around, but
So now your hair is like,
It just pissed my mom off when I told that story.
The Duck and I could be a good day.
Brian, it was so good talking to you, man.
Yeah, very good.
I probably a bit short on you, but
No, perfect, man.
Thank you so much, Brent, for being here. We really appreciate it. If you want to follow Brent, and all of his descriptions will be linked to in the description box below. Thank you so much, Brent, for being here. We had an amazing time for you.
Go hang out with your dad.
Great talking to you, Louis. Great talking to you, other two again. Been fantastic. Stay horror.
Yeah, stay horror, man.
Good on you guys.
All right.
Cheers.
We'll see you later.
See ya.
Hello.
Hello.
My daughter joined us.
Oh, hello.
She can't actually hear you. I get the...
Oh, see, that's
Say hello.
Hi.
Hello. So, tell us the most embarrassing story about your dad.
How do I get out of here?
Oh, she can't hear you.
Oh, she can't. Oh, I don't think you can unless we all
Every
hang
story
up.
about me is embarrassing. Every story about me is embarrassing. Yeah,
How
no, I
many
do dumb
times have you
shit on
traveled
the
with your dad that he's been stopped in security?
Yeah.
That sucked. That was a lot, man. I was getting fucking annoyed with that shit.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know. You guys all stand up. We should have brought that up while Brent was on here. You guys are what? Let's see. Blue's 6'3", and you're 6'5", and Brent's like 6'6", and I am 5'5".
I was 5'5" when
Well,
I was
that's
in the
why I
third
was
grade.
5'6" on a good day, maybe.
That's why it was so funny when we couldn't get an Uber, because it was me, John Mahoney, and Brent. We're all
It's
waiting
like
out
a
for
fucking clown car.
Yeah, we're all waiting for an Uber.
And Joey was there too, dressed as a clown.
And one or two different Ubers pulled up, looked at us like, nah. They just drove away. We're like, what the shit is this? And then so fucking he's blaming the three of us. I'm like, yeah, it has nothing to do with the painted pygmy. Nothing. And he's like, did you just call me a painted pygmy? I'm like, sorry, yeah.
So, where do you guys see horrorpunk going in 30 years?
Well, that depends on where our kids want to take it. Right?
That's true.
I kind of hope there's a resurgence, honestly.
That's a tough question because, like, I feel like we're in a resurgence right now, right? Kind of. That's what it feels like. It's like, of course, the Misfits and maybe some others, they all kind of kicked it off way long ago. But it was in like, the late '90s and early 2000s that it really like was, you know, the whole 90s Misfits and the Calibres and all that stuff like that, which, I mean, those bands are still around, you know, The Other, all that stuff, like 20 years ago, right? But, like, they all did that, you know, right? They were, like, the first real big wave of horror punk. And then, you know, not that it really, I don't know if it ever really took a lull, because, like, everyone's still around, but I just feel like in the last couple of years, you know, especially from, like, 2020 on, it just kind of exploded. I mean, there's, like, horror punk bands everywhere, and we built this, we've got this community, Horror Punks USA, and it's everything around the world. It's just kind of tied it together and helped it grow. And where it's going to be in 30 years, that is a good question.
Yeah, and I think it does all depend on where our kids take it, you know, where the next generation takes it.
It's really cool the direction it's going in, though. Like,
yeah.
So back in the day, you only had a few of the bands, right? Like, but nowadays there's a whole scene. Like, there's literally a whole scene right now.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say back in the day, I can remember 15 years ago when I first heard of, like, The Dead Next Door, and listening to it and realizing that I thought I missed horror punk. Like, I thought I missed it. By the time I heard about it, I thought it was over. You know, I didn't, because Blitzkid was on the Blitzkid was going strong, but I think that was the only band that I knew of that was a horror punk band. Like, I really had to go out and find them, and I think that now it's easier, and it's easier for the younger generation to find it, because like, we struggled finding that kind of music because you really had to go look for it. So I think in 30 years,
you know how hard it is to find all the albums by Mr. Monster right now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fuck, dude. I had to text Dan Phillips over at Horrorpunk's Not Dead. So I've been buddies with him for a couple of years. I even did his first original artwork, and I texted him and I was like, dude, I can't find these albums, and he had to send them all over to me.
Oh wow,
awesome!
You cannot find them. You can't find the physicals. You can't find them. They're on a Spotify. They're on a Bandcamp.
Yeah, they took it off when Jason. Jackson, you know, Brents and whatever sadly, you know, left us. Yeah, they kind of like took it off. It was on there for a little while, but yeah, it's like you can't find it on Spotify or anything like that anymore.
You can find it on YouTube.
I would consider that like second wave or almost first wave even. Like it's after the Misfits, the original, but it's definitely second wave for sure, right?
Yeah.
And it's just unaccessible.
Yeah, some of it is. Yeah, some of it's hard to find. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, well, let's make some dad-related questions here. So, like, okay, you're in terms of like music that's hard to find, or you found it hard to do, you know, find horror punk and stuff like that. Do you share horror punk with your kids? Do you like influence them with your music and stuff like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you serious? Like, my 6-year-old fucking screams Evelyn's Casket by that one guy. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
David Phantom?
No, it's Dickie Phantom.
Dickie Phantom, yeah.
I'm sure of it.
So, no, she absolutely idolizes that dude. She idolizes that music. Anything that I'm into, and now my son is super into horror punk. And he was not really into anything, but, like, they hear the shit that I play in the car, and they like it, and like, look what Evelyn does. She's 6 years old, and she personally got to sit here on this couch and talk to David Phantom, and she had a great time. Awesome. And she was both the kids sat here and were like starstruck. So I think in 30 years, when they the letter that David Phantom had written my daughter was one of the most genuine things ever, and I think that people like that, people like you guys, people like me, passing it on to the next generation are going to make horror punk stronger and make it easier for people to love it and, you know, reach out and keep it going.
I share it with my kids. I send them fucking music so often they don't even listen to it anymore. And my daughter's favorite musician was Albie Dam, and he did a song. Which one was it? Creeping Beauty 2?
Yep.
Creeping Beauty 2, and so I went looking for him just to find his albums. And when I found him, I was like, oh, dude, you know, my daughter's favorite song is this. He goes, oh, that's awesome. Maybe I'll do a live one for her. I was like, dude, her birthday is this month. That would be the perfect fucking thing for her, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's that video I put on Facebook there a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago. It was actually for Tia's birthday there, that was the video he sent me. It says for Tia at the beginning, and then it's him playing her favorite song, and at the end he says happy birthday.
That's
and
awesome.
Then, a month later, I contacted TEB Monstrosity, so Tracy Bird, and I asked him to do one for my middle son, and because he's the biggest Blitzkid fan in the world, and so Tracy did Cedar Bluff for him.
I don't know about that one. If he might be the biggest, I might.
He did Cedar Bluff for him.
I mean, I've been listening to him for longer, so I mean, there's that.
Yeah, my kid's only 21 today.
See,
it's his birthday. Oh no, it's his birthday tomorrow.
Don't even remember your kids. How many kids you got? You can't even remember all the birthdays.
I have 4, and then my girlfriend has 2. So I have Preston. He's my oldest. He's 21, turning 22 next month. Then there's Logan. He's turning 21 tomorrow. Tia. She's 17. They're waving at you. They're waving back. And then I got my 8-month-old Rory. And then my old lady's got 2 kids, Nico and Aspen. And they're 7 and 3.
Oh wow!
So you've got a horror right there.
Yeah, you got a band right there.
I'm already influencing the next generation by having new babies now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
How old are your kids, Brian? You don't mind saying?
My kids are young. Yeah. So I have 2 boys. Their names are Finley and Theo. And Finn is 3.5, and Theo is actually going to be 1 on Thursday.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah. So they're young. I got young ones. They're asleep, I think. Hopefully, we'll find out.
So I've got Colton, who's my oldest, who is 14. Pearson is my little one. He's my middle son. He is 11, and then I have Evelyn, who will be 7 in October, so she's 6 now. And she's my...
And Evelyn's little Hellraiser?
Yep. Yeah, well, no, she's actually the little... the boys are the Hellraisers. They're the ones that beat the crap out of each other. And they both have ADD, and they like... we just bought them a new swimming pool, so they've been out back just basically drowning each other. While Evelyn is like... she does the whole mom thing where she like claps her hands. Stop it! Stop it! Boys, stop it! It's like, that's not gonna work. Whether like literally drowning each other, and I'm like, stop drowning each other. What the hell is wrong with you guys?
It's gonna be like you watch. You ever see Hotel Transylvania, where they have they're trying to find Johnny. Yeah, blah blah. I've never said that in my life. Blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
They're trying to find Johnny, and it's like the boy werewolves are all going, and then he like whistles, and they like part the crowd, and the girl just walks through all calm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I even texted Stefan Fashion the one time. I was like, "You do realize you look just like Mavis, right?" She's like, "Oh my god, that's the biggest compliment."
She looks a lot like Mavis.
Yeah, she totally does, man.
Yeah. Yep. She might be a vampire.
Maybe. She might be a vampire.
I'm trying to think if we've ever seen her in the daylight.
I saw her in the daylight. She when she jumped on the video call, I saw her.
Was she inside?
No, she was outside.
Okay.
Well, maybe it was dark. It might have been dark when you guys called me.
Here's a good question for you. You got me thinking here. So, vampires exist. Let's just, I'm sure they do. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So, vampires exist. You think with technology and where we've come from, you think that in the vampire community, don't you think that they would develop some sort of like sunscreen at this point that they could like protect themselves?
I don't think it would matter. I think that they have been around. They can't. They're cursed. They're cursed. They can't go into the sunlight. There's nothing they can do.
So it doesn't matter. You don't think if they had like a special.
It's like somebody with alopecia. You're like saying, oh, in 30 years you can grow hair.
So everyone with alopecia is cursed.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're gonna offend some people.
Sorry, baldies.
Canceled on episode 3.
Yeah, damn it. Now episode 3 is canceled.
My hasn't gotten us canceled yet.
Yeah.
That did.
Yeah, you know what's funny is nobody watches this shit. No one's going to watch it.
Jimmy was here in episode 2. We would have been canceled in episode 1 if Jimmy was here.
We need like a disclaimer at the beginning of each episode, like Nikki Casket has, like, warning. Anthony can't shut up.
I'll put a disclaimer. Viewer discretion.
I'm working on this. We're already filming episode 3 at this point, but so I took your idea there, Lou. I was working on a theme song,
Yeah.
The theme song. We can put it at the front. I don't know when it'll be done though, because I'm busy as shit. But eventually, it will be on the intro.
Yeah, and
if
eventually
you're watching
it won't.
episode 3 right now, and you heard the theme song.
Yeah.
It means I've done it.
So eventually,
if you're watching this now, it means I'm dead.
Eventually, this won't be like this. I'll figure out how to do Zoom. It doesn't record on my phone for some reason. Every time I set up a Zoom meeting, it will not record.
Yeah. You have to record them on that.
I don't know if it's showing up the same way as now, but it's actually kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
before
like
it was like 2 really small ones and then 1 big one.
Well, on your phone, it should be like 4 windows. On my computer, it's actually, I'm in the bottom screen. You two are on top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Me too.
So it's on your phone. It'll show up as like a 4-pack.
For sure.
Yeah, well, right now it's just the 2 of you are like big on the top, and then I've got
Yeah. Do I look
I
good?
just wasn't sure how it was going to show up on your show.
It'll show up like it always shows up, like nonsense.
I have a horror punk dad question for you guys. So, and we can. You should ask this of future guests too. So, like, where do you stand? Just because I'm curious, where do you guys stand on like sharing horror with your kids? Not horror punk, but like horror movies.
I actually have that
I
now.
Was
did
that
a bad one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So when my middle one was, I think it was like turning 8 or 9, he was like young enough that he's losing his last baby tooth. So there's a movie called The Tooth Fairy, right? When the kid loses their last tooth, if they will stay up and they see the Tooth Fairy comes and kills Dad and the whole family.
It's awesome.
So I thought it'd be funny. He just lost his last tooth. I'll watch it with him. And I didn't sleep for like a fucking week, man. I was in shit all day, every day, man. I was like, oh.
I say go big or go home. I showed when my kids were little, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I don't care. So when my kids,
no judgment here. This is I'm curious. Like it's a subject. Like,
so when my kids were little, I used to mess with them. My son, when he was in his crib and he'd be sleeping, I'd like jump out with like a big scary mask. I have the mask right here. I'd jump out with this thing, and he was like a baby, and I'd jump out and I'd scare him with this. I'd just be like booga 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 booga, and scare the shit out of him, and he'd cry. But he likes horror now, and he's okay. He's okay. Look at this thing. This thing is fucking terrifying.
Showing my kids the movies, I just explained like it's just dudes with makeup on.
Exactly, yeah. Well, Evelyn's 6, and the first movie I ever showed her was Insidious, and now she's cool. She loves Annabelle. You know, I'd say show your kids horror when they're younger. Don't shelter them. I mean, at your discretion. You know, if you don't think they should watch it, then don't let them watch it. But like, they're gonna watch horror movies eventually. Don't shelter them from everything. You know.
But I think there's like a level of like you got to start with the not so rough ones. Like, you know, you're not gonna first movie you're sure your fucking 5-year-old's not gonna be a Terrifier.
He was like,
you know, like
oh yeah, no.
You're gonna start with like Monster
he was like a baby, and I'm
like,
all booga 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 booga.
Yeah.
Like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you gotta fucking moderate it in some sense, right?
Yeah. I know it's funny because it's like those. You see, you know, those memes floating around out there. So especially in our community, because everyone likes horror. Where it's like, you know, what got you into horror? They're like, I think it all started when I watched The Exorcist at like 4.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 5 years old watching The Exorcist with my dad. You know what I mean? It's like
They don't know what's going on. They don't know that Reagan is possessed by the devil, but they eventually learn how cool it is and they learn to appreciate it. And that movie is amazing. The practical effects are awesome. I mean, for the 70s, I mean, holy shit, that movie is great.
Yeah, it holds up well for being from the 70s.
Yeah.
Effects, for sure.
I mean, look, they made her float. They made her head twist. I mean, like, there's a lot of shit that they did for the 70s that made it fucking scary. The spider walk is like one of the most iconic scenes.
The demon did that. I mean, she was possessed. That was the demon.
Yeah, but like that.
That was
the shit that came out of that kid's mouth.
I know. We actually wrote a song called Spider Walk.
Fucking dicks in hell. That was some fucked up shit, man.
It is fucked up.
I did see that. I was like, oh.
So, like I said, my mom was super big into horror. She actually went to see that movie 3 times. First time she made it to the spider walk scene. The second time she made it to the head twisting scene, and the third time she made it all the way through. That's some dedication. That's some dedication to go to the movie theater 3 times to try to finish a movie.
And to finish it off, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
It scared the shit out of her so much she like got up and fucking walked out.
All right, so let's go that route. What horror movie? It could be multiple ones, but like, what's one horror movie that you remember? Maybe you saw when you were younger or whatever that scared the shit out of you. What the most? What do you think?
That would be. There's 2 of them. The first one is obviously A Nightmare on Elm Street. Movie scared the fuck out of me as a little kid. You know, you got. That's another good movie. That's just practical effects, just amazing. You know, you've got Tina in the body bag.
Concept.
Yeah.
And then like what? Yeah.
So like you got Tina being dragged up the wall. You got fucking Tina being dragged down the hallway. See Nancy, you know, in the fucking body bag. That made me shit my pants. Like what the fuck? And then the second movie that scared the shit out of me in the 90s when I was a kid was It, the miniseries It. That was pretty scary too. Just the music and just the fact that fucking Pennywise is only in that movie for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it. Excuse me, sir. Is your refrigerator running? Yuck.
For me, it was actually Pet Cemetery. I remember my older brothers watching it. I was like creeped out. Watch the movie behind his back.
Yeah.
On it. I got it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you heard that or not.
There it is. Ow!
So yeah, no, I would creep around the corner and I'd watch these fucking movies, and that Zelda chick on that bed screen.
Yeah.
She
Crazy
was
shit. Yeah.
fucking horrifying.
Yeah, very horrifying.
And then the other one would be, I don't know the name of it. All I remember is like kind of the storyline and one guy in it. And it was basically like some dude interacted with someone on the phone. It was some sort of fucking phone call, and they told him, look, a nuke is coming through your town. And so the whole movie, he's trying to get the fuck out of the city. And that's all I really remember about it. I remember it was like a horror just because it's such a scary premise, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't remember the name, and I just remember it was like that weird bald doctor from ER on it. That's all I remember.
Huh. What was that?
I don't know.
It would be worth watching again.
Sounds worth watching. It sounds awesome.
Who's here?
Ariana, come on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, it's oh man, this is I don't know, man. I actually don't know. Good question. It was my question. Of course it's my question. I mean, I
Debbie
remember
does Dallas.
one. You know, this is, I mean, to each their own. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, I mean, you guys included, you feel free to laugh at it or make fun, totally fine. But I have very, vivid imagination, just very, like, I don't know, play into, what's seen or unseen, like, just let your imagination run wild. So I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the first Paranormal Activity movie in theaters, that scared me. That was like,
it's so cool.
It's a good
because
movie.
Because it's what you make of it. Like, yeah, I mean, it's just, when you think about it, it's just like, just like low budget. They're just shutting doors, by pulling strings or shit or whatever it is. But like, brilliant. Just brilliant.
It's great. Actually, I think the third one might be my favorite. The third Paranormal Activity, the one that I love how they go backwards, but the third one might be my absolute favorite. That's the part where they're in the bathroom and they look out and the fucking playset fucking rolls across the floor. Scared the living fuck out of me. Or when he put the camera on the fan and the kid was like in the sheet, and when it panned backwards, the sheet dropped. Fuck you. I was fucking nope. Fuck. Yeah, holy shit. Fuck this house. I'm out of here. Fuck this.
They scared the shit out of me, man. Well, specifically the first one. Specifically, it scared me, man. It got me because like I remember going to see. It was framed to me differently, by people that had seen it. They were like, "Oh yeah, you gotta go see it." It was like people that had it was like a ghost, like a found ghost footage thing or something like that. You gotta go check it out. I was like, "Oh, cool." It was, it's not. It's about a demon that's haunting this girl. it wasn't just ghosts. It was like a vengeful demon haunting her. I was like, okay, that's mistake number one. Okay, fuck with that shit. But then like, just the way that it was done and stuff. Like I left the theater with my wife. And I think we went to like Taco Bell after it or whatever like that. I'm like sitting there in the parking lot, like eating, like looking over, and I'm just like looking past her out the window,
looking into the great
parking
beyond.
lot, and I'm just like, there's a demon out there. I know it. Like I can't see that shit, but it's there. Like fuck, I know it. Dude, I went home. Like I had still lived in my, I still lived in my parents' house at that point. I think I was a teenager or something when that was out. But it was like. I went home to my parents' house and they're like, "How was the movie?" I was like, I can't sleep. I was like, it's here. Like, it's behind me. I was like, it's in the house. I was like, I don't know what
pictures of me in the attic.
Yeah, dude. And you know what the thing was with the pictures in the attic and thing? That was my room. I slept in a room with the fucking hatch to the attic with the little thing. I kid you not, man. I laid there all night in the covers just watching that fucking hutch in the attic. Like, Jesus Christ, it's up there, man. Like,
it's up there.
they're coming to get
stuff there waiting for you to fall asleep.
Oh man. Oh shit. So unfortunately we have also ran out of time again. I want to thank both of you guys for being here. Stay tuned for part 4. If you guys want to follow Ryan or Anthony, their shit will be in the description box. Probably I'm actually 3 beers down. So stay horror and we'll see you later.
Later, boy.